Welcome back to another episode of Who Am I to Judge podcast. I'm Alexis.
And I am Samantha. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Welcome back. So how are you today?
I was telling Alexis that I've had just like a frustrating day. I think it's just my mood. Like I woke up before I was ready to. Jupiter is obsessed with the backyard. So it's just like literally as soon as we wake up, he's like, going downstairs, like when I'm going to lay on the deck, and like when are we going in the backyard? And so
it's annoying as hell.
And so I took him in the backyard, which is like, I take him every day. It's just like he's so pressed. And he like jumped on top of the pool with like the pool cover. You have like an inflatable pool. I've talked about it on the show. So then he gets in the water, then he's digging, so now he's dirty. And then, like, it's like just
but it also sounds like mellow, or something mellow would do.
I know. And so I was just like, okay. And then I went with my mom.
You gotta take a deep breath.
Yes. And then I went with my mom to my pop-up's house. And I just, when you like that feeling where you're just like, you feel kind of kidnapped, just like I'm going with my mom and just like, okay, now, yes, it's just like, now I gotta go to the gas station. Now you're going to the bank. And it's just like,
that's how it always goes.
I want to lay down. I want to be like nonverbal.
What is up with people that do that? Because it's like my mother does that to me too. And she's just like, Alexis, you want to go to Costco with me when I'm home? And, I want to spend time with my family. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll go to Costco with you. And then she's like, and then she starts like turning. We go to Costco and then she starts turning the other direction from the house. And I'm like, where are we going? And she's like, oh, like I need to stop and pick up this thing for your father. And I'm just like, I don't want to do this shit. Like the fuck? Like, come on now, take me home, dog. And then she's like, I don't know. And she's like, you're in a mood or something. And I'm just like,
that's funny. I want to see your mom when you're in a mood. I'm sure she doesn't care. I'm sure
she doesn't care at all. So she's like, I'm not even thinking about Alexis. Like she always says that. She's like, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm like, whatever.
That is so funny. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Usually my mom is not, doing like, I don't usually feel like kidnapped with her. But today, just because I was already in a mood, I think it was just like, okay. And I'm just like, I'm just like, and I'm also just like faster with stuff. So just like, let me just get I'm going to just go get the gas real quick.
Right.
Okay. But I'm happy to be talking to you.
Because literally I just be like, okay, I'll just do it. She's like, Alexis. I'm just like, let me just fucking do it, lady. Like, you're so slow sometimes. Like, let me move it.
I know.
It's funny. But my day was good today. I went into the office, it was Tuesday, and nobody was there because I forgot everybody is at this like conference. So it was like me and this other guy on the floor. That was it. Like there was literally no line for the lunch. They need to have like the service people to sell. I mean, not.
Oh my god!
To hand it out because it was just that little of people. They knew that there was going to be food left over. Sorry, I had to drink of water, y'all. So it's just like. I literally like left at like 1. I like ate and I was like, I'm leaving. And then I finished the rest of my day at the house. Because I was like, there's no one here. It's dead silent. But I told Julie I got what I came for. I come for the lunch and to talk to people. If I see the people I know there. There was nobody there. And I got my food. So I bounced. And so I just finished cooking. Just finished cooking. I made this chicken tomato stew, so it should be ready when I'm done. So I'm excited. And then the W is back. It was All-Star Weekend break. Everything's back at 7:30. So I'm just excited. It's just a great day, And our AC's fixed finally.
Oh, good.
I've been buying slowly different like pieces of outfits for my birthday weekend in Chicago for Olivia Rodrigo. So yesterday I don't know. You know this about me because I just feel like growing up in Providence, like every school year, my mom got me a killer new jacket. So I've just carried that into like adulthood where it's like I always get a new fall jacket. Okay. And so I got my new fall jacket, which I'll wear in Chicago. I'll show you right now. And then I got like, I want to wear one of the outfits I want to wear is like all denim, like jean shirt, jean pants, and then like a belt, but it's like a gold chain as a belt. You know what I'm saying? You see the vision. It's like chill cute. And chunky jewelry, all of it. So I found the jean shirt. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, it was
Ooh, I want to
$20.
see the jean
On
shirt.
Libby was having a sale. It was on sale. So I was like, oh, let me just get it. So then I got it. I'll show you the jacket. This is the jacket. Hello. You plus me equals a heart forever. I love it. A heart forever. Okay, here it is. I'm just pulling it up, y'all. Oh, I feel like this type of style of jacket is coming in for like the style. Okay, here we go. I like your big, you see, sister.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like a
That's
windbreaker
cute.
vibes. It's cute.
Yep. I like the
Um,
red.
Thank you. And then the jean shirt's like a basic jean shirt, but I'll show you if
I
you want to
know.
see
I
it.
don't know what. I'm like, I need to envision that because I kind of don't know what you mean by that. I'm
Denim
like,
on.
I'm
Actually,
just
the girl in the
picturing.
picture is wearing the denim on denim on denim. Actually, baby, let
Let's
me
see
ride this
it.
denim on denim on denim on.
Girl, she's singing today.
I'm
I'm
in a good
like,
mood.
I
Denim
know
on denim
Alexis
on
in a
denim.
good mood. I'm just like, come on. Oh, okay, I see.
Oh.
Why was I thinking like short sleeve?
Hell no! This is fall. It's gonna be in the Chicago,
I
October in Chicago.
know. I know. I'm just like connecting the dots between the time period that we're
Yes, I
talking
need to
about.
now eventually. I mean, I'm slowly getting stuff. So like eventually I'll get some jeans that match that color. It's medium wash. And then think about my jewelry. And I need to get the gold belt chain, but that'll come.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was
Okay.
just life. But we got a lot of stuff
Good.
to talk about, y'all. So let's get to it. Okay, Samantha, who is on trial?
So we have a lot of things that I told Alexis that we could talk about. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with biphobia.
Okay. So there's been a conversation online about biphobia, specifically like with Black women. I haven't like really heard any like other races really kind of tap into this. So, basically, I don't know like where this conversation started, but it's like, you know, there I'm trying to figure out how to like explain this. But like basically they're just like straight women or women that date men, like basically saying like you're biphobic if you don't date bi men. And so this has like started a whole conversation. I'm pretty sure this has like been a conversation before. Like this is like one of those conversations that like, get life every few years. Um but like everybody's, giving their takes about it. Like some people are super like, yes, like you're biphobic if you are a woman and you're just like, I do not date bi men. And then other people are like, it's your choice. And like Black women are constantly being like forced to, I don't know. It just seems like the pressure is like on Black women to date by men. Like it's just like, why
Why do
won't
you
you
think
date
there's
by?
pressure for that?
I don't know. It just seems like that's where the conversation is always lying because, like Dominique said, you could talk about like, trans women and bi men, or you know what I'm saying? Like it just seems like the
There's
conversation.
other groups of people, but it's always also by Black people you're saying.
Absolutely,
So what is
yes.
your thought? Like, are you thinking, like, do you agree with that? Like you are biphobic or homophobic or whatever if you refuse to date a bi man as a straight woman?
I think that it's a more nuanced conversation about like preference, and I kind of agree with what Dominique Morgan was saying, was just like yes, maybe those thoughts, like maybe that's something that you can dissect or just like ask yourself as you're getting older, like, well, why? Like, why is it an immediate no for a bi man? And kind of thinking about like what those questions are, like what that answer is. And unpacking that. Like, but I think that it gets a little bit dangerous when like it's like, okay, well, I'm not attracted to bi men. And then it's just like, well, you're biphobic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of like, well, you wouldn't
I
say
think it's
that
like, go ahead.
if
You
you
wouldn't say
were,
that.
it's like, you wouldn't say that if it was, somebody else in the queer community. It's like,
Yeah,
why aren't
I
you
wonder if
dating
people
bi
wouldn't,
men?
because I feel like if someone, I mean,
Well, there
I don't
is.
know.
I
I
have
feel like
heard
I
that.
might.
Like
Yeah,
I've
I
heard
feel like I
like
might.
gay men be like, no, I don't want to date a bi man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've heard trans women say that. Like, and so it's just kind of like, um,
I mean, it might
yeah.
be a thing. I don't know how I feel about it. It's like I do feel like sometimes I think it just I don't know where I land right now in this moment, but I do know that like most of the time, oftentimes when the conversation comes up to straight women about dating a bi man, oftentimes they start using homophobic and biphobic language. And I think so,
Mm-hmm.
like, and I feel like that's like more so where I'm like the one thing I know for sure, because I feel like, they're just like, usually it goes to, well, I don't want a man who's sucking dick. And it's just like, what does that mean to you? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I feel like it goes into like, well, you see that as feminine, you see them as feminine, you see, it's like, it starts getting like a little bit
Mm-hmm.
violent in the language, I guess. Like, and I feel like that is to me absolutely biphobic and homophobic. That's not all women. That's definitely not all Black women. But I just think that like the mainstream talking points on why women don't want to date a bi man is because it goes into language that like I feel like isn't necessarily productive
Yeah. I mean,
conversation.
and I agree, but I think that that would be the same if you at like I see, I'm like watching Dominique Morgan, like not wanting to say why
Uh-huh.
she doesn't want to date a bi man because like,
Mhm.
yes, it probably will sound,
Mhm.
it doesn't sound good. Like rejection,
Mhm.
like most times doesn't sound good. Like if you ask like I don't know, it's funny. I was gonna say like a fat person, but then like that reminds me of like fat phobia, and then like I don't know if you've heard about that whole Samyra conversation with like the
Yes, with the skinny
SkinnyLicious
menu at SkinnyLicious
Cheesecake
at
Factory.
Cheesecake Factory. Mhm.
That was another topic that like I had
We
in
can
my
get into
mind,
that, but I don't know. I just think this is a
but not
thing.
fat person. I just want to say like just a preference that you have, whatever it is. Like I don't
But
want
what
to
is
date.
the preference based off of? That's what I'm saying. Like I want someone to when they saw. So that's another person we need to add to the bucket list. A straight woman who doesn't want to date a bi man who's willing to actually get real. Because I feel like no one wants to say why. They're just like, well, I just don't like it. Why? Like, and I feel like they're scared to
Mm-hmm.
say the why. If
I
the
mean, I
and
think
these
a
women
lot
who
of
got scared to come
people.
to the fucking pod. Like, why
I
is it?
mean,
Is it just
I've
because y'all
told
think sucking
you,
dick is like feminine?
like, I
Is that
feel
what
like
you're
we've
saying?
had this recent conversation. Like, you were just like, would you date a bi man? And I was just like, well, I don't know. Like, I would have to really like know them. And
But what is
first,
the I don't know for?
I know, but, and I'm about to tell you. So,
Mm-hmm,
like, first of all, we're talking about men.
mm-hmm,
So already, like, men don't feel the most trustworthy.
okay.
And so it's like, it just adds another layer of like something that is an unknown, which I think is like fear based. But just like
Yes.
it does add another layer of like trust. And I already don't really trust the man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of like, and I do agree. I think it's just like, it's a vicious cycle of like, homophobia and people being in the closet, people not being their real self, blah, blah, blah. But I do think that there is some validity of like Black women being the bad guy in this conversation when I feel like I think homophobia exists across the board. And I think that like I don't know, like, yeah. So I think that's one thing with like men. Like I'll say like just men off the bat, like men are not the most trustworthy. And I do think like kind of like what Dominique Morgan was saying, like she was talking about how she likes to date men. I mean, yeah, she likes to date men that are straight or like women or like trans women. Like she doesn't want a bi man that likes, like femboys or whatever, because she feels like they're just kind of saying like, oh yeah, I like trans women too. But she's like, no, you don't really like trans women. Like you like femboys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you're kind of just saying that you do, but like, that's not really like, you're not really seeing me as like a woman, basically. And so I feel like that is like, there's some of that as well, where it's just kind of like, and I haven't had this experience, but just listening to people like Dominique Morgan, it's just like, I could see that, where it's just like, you might want to get your rocks off with a woman once in a while, but like, emotionally, you are mostly in relationships with men. I don't know. But like, also, I will say
that that's coming from like a thought that like you think that, like, I think like, do you think that's coming from a place of like a very simple understanding of bias, where it's like, well, if you're picking one, so you must be craving the other? Because I feel like there's plenty of people that are, I mean, most people who you marry or who you end up with is not like the most, if you could go into a factory and build the most perfect person with all your preferences, it would come out looking like this and being like this and behaving like this. There's all, people are more complicated than that. That doesn't mean you're going to spend the rest of your time like thinking like, well, like, what if they like, like, well, what if they want to go with someone with brown hair, or what if they want to be with a bubble? It's like, I just feel like it's in a simple understanding of bias to just think, well, if they choose to be with a woman, then they must be craving a man. And if they choose to be with a man, they must be craving a woman,
Yeah. I mean, I think that is on both sides. Like, if we're talking about biphobia, like, I think that, bi women that date women, like, they have those same guards up, because it's just like, are you really about this life? You know what I mean? Like, are you really about this like lesbian life, or are you gonna, date a man after this, or like, is that who you really want to be with, or whatever? So like, I feel like it's both sides. And I think that it's a little bit dishonest to say like, it's just women. I mean, like straight women and men. But I don't know. As as somebody that like, feels like I could be bi, like I have like thought about that label.
The way you said that feels like I could be like, are you or are you not? I guess like you shouldn't. I'm not trying to out you or push you anyway, but I'm just saying,
mean,
like,
I feel like I've always felt weird about just labels in general with sexuality. Like, I would say I'm fluid. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like putting myself in a box, I'm like, maybe I don't even understand what that label means all the way. But like, I have been like, yeah, like I've put that on my dating profile at times, just like
you put what, like open to whatever,
just bisexual, like, like okay. I'm open to women and men. And so
do you think if you meet the next person you meet, say you meet somebody and y'all stay together for a very long time, you think they're going to be thinking the whole time like, well, say it's a man, well, maybe she's going to be, who knows, like she might be trying to be with a girl, like you think they're going to be thinking that?
I think if I would dated a woman, yes.
Really?
I think if I've only dated men for real, and I did like there is a thing where like women, like lesbians, do not want to deal with somebody that has only dated men. Like, haven't you heard that? Haven't you heard that?
Yes, but I guess like I don't know. I guess I don't know. The framing of it maybe is throwing me off. Yeah, let me check. The framing is throwing me off. But regardless, I mean, I think regardless, the point of this is like the conversation can get. It just depends on how you talk about it. I feel like the conversation can get transphobic, biphobic, homophobic, depending on the things you're talking about and how you're talking about it. It doesn't mean everyone is entitled to preferences, and it doesn't mean that you are a homophobic, transphobic person, maybe, but I would like to, but somebody, I would need to hear the reason, because I just feel like everyone needs to hear the reason, because I do think the reason oftentimes is problematic. Like
What do you
they,
think what do you think it is that people are? I
what
mean,
I said,
not.
like, I think that they're like, I don't want to be with a guy who, I feel like I've been around people like that. Like, I don't want to be a guy who sucked dick before. And then it's just like, why? And they're like, because that shit's girly. Like, they see you're on your knees. Like, you know, like they see that as like a girly ass thing, and they find that unattractive. And I think they're not, you know, most fully, you know, straight people, like, you know, who don't want to be with anybody else. They, they, they are attracted to masculine energy. So it's like they do not like the thought of a man on their knees is enough for them to be like, fuck that shit. Like, you know?
Is that, and I'm just asking this as like an honest conversation, like, is that homophobic if like you're not attracted to a man that does that? Like, you don't want a trans man that like
That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm trying to figure out, because I just feel like, because I just don't know, because the conversation just gets weird, because it's just like, what if someone said they don't date black women, or they don't date white women, or they don't date Indian women? Like, I feel like we would consider that
people
person.
do.
Yeah, and we would consider that person to be fucked up. Like, they would have something wrong with them. Like, I was just gonna say, just like, I think we would have some, like, I feel like besides white people, like, besides saying I don't date white people, if someone said I don't date black people, like a black woman or whatever color they were, we would be like, what the fuck is wrong with them? And so I just feel like, what's the difference here? They're both uncontrollable identities. You know, it's not like,
well, I think that a lot of people have those beliefs or whatever, and I think it's one of those taboo things that people don't talk about. You know, but
and that's what I was
dating
saying,
within your culture is like
we're not just saying within your culture. We're just saying, like, if someone just, it doesn't matter what color they are. If they just said they didn't date a certain race that wasn't white, we would be like, the fuck is wrong with you? You know, like, to say that out loud, I think most people would look at them like, you know, and so I guess what I'm saying, like, convince me why this is different.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, yes, we would give that reaction. And I guess if they started to tell you their reasoning and just like, I'm attracted, like if an Indian man is just like, I don't date black women, like I only date Indian women.
Okay, that's different, but we're not talking within your culture. We're
just
saying just
singling out one group.
Yes, we're just talking about in general, because bi people are not within straight culture. So it wouldn't be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not comparing the same thing. Because of course, there's like very valid reasons that somebody who's Indian would want to continue to date an Indian person for many reasons. But we're not talking about that here. We're talking about someone who just has a preference for, who does not want to date
a straight person
who doesn't want
to date a bi person.
I guess it's the same. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Whatever it is, like I said, I can be convinced that it's not fucked up. I just need to hear a reason, because oftentimes the only reason I hear is, I don't want a man who sucks dick. And I don't know if that is to me, that's bordering on bad stuff. I think that can go down.
Do you feel like, you know, like being a lesbian, you have to be open to all types of sexualities? You know what I'm saying? Like, or all types. I don't even know if we're using the right word, but like, you would date.
Think you need to be. Oh, well, no, because I wouldn't date a man, you know. But I mean, I guess that's not a sexuality. But you're saying, what, I need to be open to people who are like pan, people who are bi, people who are
poly, I guess. I don't think,
no, well, that's not a sexuality. But I guess people don't need to, I guess this is the thing. No one needs to be entitled to anything. The only thing I want to know is, like, and like I said, I don't think it's transphobic, homophobic, or yada, yada, yada. I just think the conversation borders there. And I would just want to hear a real reason that doesn't make me feel that way. Because oftentimes I haven't heard a reason that doesn't make me go like, you know?
I know, but I guess I feel like those, like, not dating a man for you is very easy to talk about. You know what I mean? Because it's just like,
yes,
there's a track record there. So it's just, and that's
why I said, I feel like people would say the same about white people. Like, that's why I said, I feel like if somebody went on a mic, it was like, it was a black person or a black woman, they were like, well, I don't even date white people, we would all be like, true. Like, you know, it's like, I feel like there's certain things where like yes, a lesbian saying I wouldn't want to date a man wouldn't get any raised eyebrows, right? I feel like
Right.
I don't know. What I'm
But you
saying is
would date a bi girl.
yeah, that wouldn't even scare me at all.
Okay. I mean, I will say as like somebody that's feels like I'm still discovering my sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that these words might even already exist, but we need to talk about it more. Like the way that you are emotionally invested in somebody and sexually, I think are branches of sexuality that needs to be talked about. Because I feel like even with straight men, I feel like, they're homo emotional. Like their male friends are people that they like care more about emotionally, are more vulnerable. They can be. I'm not talking about all men, but like they can be. But like women, they don't even really like them as people. They just are sexually attracted to them, or they feel that they are. And I think that can be true with, women and men too. Like I do feel like, I mean, I haven't had certain experiences with like a strap or anything like that where I'm like trying to replicate that, but I could see myself missing sex with a man in my life. You know what I
Guess you'll have
mean?
to see. Get yourself in a relationship and we'll see what you miss. I think that's the best way to do it. We'll see.
Yeah,
So it's like
that's the
Dubs in
best
the
way to do
chat.
it.
Like Samantha's gonna date a girl. So if you please email us if you're interested because we need to see like will
You
she
are
be
so
wanting
funny.
to be with a real penis after being with a
And not
strap?
even that, yeah, it's just like, wanting to have that feeling. Like it's
Yeah,
not
we'll
even
see.
about like having a relationship. It's just like, craving that experience. I could see that. But
You're so funny. All right, well let's move on. What was the other stuff we want to talk about?
so
There was
the
another
other
thing
thing,
brought up. Oh, the SkinnyLicious thing. Is that what you want to talk about?
oh yeah, we can touch on that real quick. So SkinnyLicious,
Cheesecake Factories.
Samyra, yeah, had another video where she was calling out the Cheesecake Factory and saying that like the SkinnyLicious menu was very fatphobic and problematic. Um, and so yeah, it's obviously sparked a huge conversation. Well, not obviously, but it did spark a huge conversation. And there's, two sides of the story. People are like, girl, you are dragging this. Like, you need to chill. Like people that are just really not trying to hear this from her. And then there's other people that are like, she has a valid point. What do you think?
I think that one thing I feel like Samara is always like proven right at a point. Like in my mind. Like I feel like
Mm-hmm.
whenever she does things, it eventually does come out as like, oh, they changed this. I mean, I do think we're in okay, so I was watching Is It the Right Words like video on Lizzo and she talks about how Lizzo's not really hitting right now because we're no longer in body positivity era,
Mm-hmm.
like in the 2015s, 2017s, 20 whatever. We're in like the Ozempic era. And so I feel like
Mm-hmm.
when we're in being in this era, it is worth having a more critical eye to things that point out skinniness because it's not like people are just skinny. Like there are people who are like emaciated looking, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like Ariana Grande, like, it's like that entire cast of Wicked. So I say all that to say, like, I don't really have a problem with pointing out the SkinnyLicious menu because I do
Mm-hmm.
think we're in a time where like we should be thinking about how we're talking when people are dangerously thin. But it didn't strike me as a problem until she brought it up. I'll say that. Like
Right.
it wasn't on
Yeah,
my
same.
radar, but I'm always here to
Yeah.
push like I don't want to shut down the conversation because it seems little. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what people are doing. Like, girl, you're dragging it. But it's just like in the context of that we're in, I do think it's worth talking about. I'm not saying condemn Cheesecake Factory. I love that fucking place. But I'm just saying, like, it's worth the conversation.
Yeah, I agree. I think it definitely is, you know, Yeah, I think people are just jaded online. Like I saw somebody
Like,
that
jaded
was
on Samyra, you know, like
jaded on Samyra, jaded on just like opinions. Like I saw somebody was like, everybody just needs to shut the fuck up. Like no more podcast episodes, like no more think
right.
pieces. But it's just like that's it's not
But I'm
realistic.
like, sometimes I'm like, is it the boomer in me? Like, Courtney called me a boomer the other day because, like, I was like, I said something. She was like, she was like, how does it feel to be a boomer? I was like, honestly, I'm just living in my truth. But I just
What did
wonder,
you
like,
say?
it was something that was like, but I wonder if sometimes I'm like, um, you know, I never want to be a boomer in the sense of like shutting down those conversations where I'm just like, well, like, you guys just like stop talking about it and who cares? It's like, you know, like I want to hear it. And I do think in the world we're in right now, in this era, I don't care. I mean, I do care because I think that it's like we should
I
be more
mean, yeah. I think yeah, like you said, in this era where it's just like the shot, if you have insurance or have a little money, like you can get the shot and like essentially become skinny. Like,
yeah, the access to skinniness is within a, you know, like if you have the money. And so I think that
Yeah.
you're doing it. Like I know people that are on the shot that are absolutely have abused it. You know, like gone too far and now they, you know, have abused the
And
shot.
just, I've just seen so many people just like, like I haven't seen them in a while and I see them. It's just like, oh, wow. Like I'm thinking about that makeup lady that's like been in the headline. She's kind of problematic. I think her name might be Melissa or something. But and she's like has a Boston accent. But the last time I saw her it was just like, whoa, like, like you probably taking the shot.
Hell yeah. And so I say that
So
to say, like, I just feel
yeah.
like I don't have a problem with the conversation. But I think if we take it too far as and like cancel them, is I would be like, okay, Samyra, like relax. But I think that like it's worth examining anything that is glorifying skinniness when we have Ariana Grande on tour. You know what I'm saying? Like when there's
Right.
people who are like Ryan Seacrest, Demi, like there's people that just look bad and everyone's acting like they look fine.
Right. And I guess it's just like the wording, you know,
Yeah, SkinnyLicious
like
makes it sound like it's fucking cheetah girls. You know, like
just like
delicious, you know,
right.
like
Right,
you know how
right,
they would
right.
say it, like skinny-licious,
Right,
like
right, right.
no, like we don't want to be like that.
Right. And that makes sense. I mean, honestly, I think like now that I'm thinking about it more because like one of a creator like broke down like the history where um like all these fast food chains or like if they had more than certain amount of locations they had to disclose the calorie count and so all of
Oh,
these venues like they panic because they're just like oh shit like these people are gonna see
yeah,
that we're like giving them like 300
giving
calories
them every
3,000
fucking
calories
yeah.
and so they combated this with making like a menu that had like lower calorie items and like most of the other brands, didn't say SkinnyLicious, like it was like a healthy option type name or whatever. Um, and so,
Skinny-licious.
yeah,
But
I
yeah,
think it
this is
is
my
kind
thing.
of inappropriate. Like if you think, like if you really think about it a little bit, like the name is
Yeah,
a bit like
it's a bit much. Like
it's
like
not
I
in the
said,
right place. It's not in
you're
the
acting
right
like it's like I said, cheetah girls. Like it's like very fun and exciting. It's just like no, like I just think we have to we like it's easy to just shut down things. Like I think it's worth talking about it. You know, like I said,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think it's
saying
worth being aware of it. And I don't
exactly.
think
It's
it'd be a bad thing if Cheesecake Factory came out with a new name. Like it's
yes,
been
like
that
so right. I
for a
agree.
long time. Like
Because I
I
do
think it's
think it's
okay.
worthwhile to have a menu that's because I looked it up. It's like under 590 calories and it's small portions. There are people who are truly on a diet or like have diabetes or you know just have things that where they need to
Yeah.
really watch the calories and stuff. And like I think it's absolutely good to have that so people know they can go out to eat and have fun and still like you know eat in their range. But yeah, maybe not call it like it's Cheetah Girls, Cheetah Licious. Like call it something else. Like call it
Right.
I don't even know what you call it. A lean meal. I don't fucking know. Lean cuisine. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, something that just doesn't say skinny in the title. I do
And
think
with
that
delicious at the end. I just feel like that's like I don't know. That's the part that's like blowing me because I just like like SkinnyLicious. Like it's just like what?
It's
It
kind
just
of outdated.
yeah, I don't like it.
I mean, I
Mm.
definitely could see that. And yeah, I think it's just funny. I just like hearing, my thing is like, I just like hearing the takes, from different sides, like whether it's the biphobia conversation or like the Samyra conversation. Like it's just interesting to see. And I definitely feel like people were just kind of over Samyra bringing up, another thing and like
Well, yeah.
coming at her personally and stuff. So
I mean, one thing Samyra is gonna do is bring up
wake it
something
up.
phobic. Okay, wake up the
Wake it
conversation.
up.
But I'm here for it.
I think
So
that's important. Yes. I think it's important. And that's just like this biphobia conversation. Like I think it's important to discuss, but I do think that as humans, we have to really start being like, if we want to have these conversations, we have to be honest. And with dating, it is, I think I saw somebody was like, it's inherently exclusionary. Like it is, and the reasons why would probably hurt people's feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like if they heard it out loud, it's just like,
I agree, and that's why I was saying
like
like
rejection hurts
mhm.
regardless.
Actually, I agree. And so that's why I was like, I want to hear the reason about the gay shit. But yeah, anyway, let's move on. There's more to talk about on the
Yes.
docket.
So we have a couple of HBCUs that
Oh my
have
God,
come
yes.
across the news this week. So I'm going to pull up.
Let's do the dress code one. I feel like that's funny.
Yeah, so Tuskegee University, I'd also want to get their stuff right. So it says Tuskegee University implements an updated dress code policy for the 2026 to 2027 academic year. The policy bans casual items like bonnets, durags, pajamas, and bedroom slippers in classrooms, dining facilities, and official university environments. So yeah, that is like causing a conversation on Threads, TikTok, everywhere. What did you think about
What are your
this?
thoughts
Like,
on the
what are
dress
you
code?
thinking? This conversation's always like interesting because I think that's again like where's all this rooted from? Like I think that kind of comes back to like the biphobia conversation. It's just like, you know, if we feel this is inappropriate, why? And who made it like that? Like who set the standard? Is it, trying to be respected to white people? Like, is that what's happening? Um, but I will say that I do think sometimes we're setting up these kids that need guidance to know like the time and place and like the world that we do live in. Um, it's like come to school dressed. Like, like come to school, like if you have to cover your hair, like wear like a hat or something like that. Um, I mean, durags, I don't know. I feel like I don't know why durags feel more casual. I guess because they have been in like fashion where people have worn durags. Like I feel like in Drumline he was wearing durags to class and stuff.
He is,
But
yeah. And people wear that as
yeah.
part of their outfit. But keep going.
Yeah, people wear a part of their outfit, like period. And then like so I feel like bonnets, then it comes like the bonnets and then like the dress slippers. And I mean, hey, I think too, like I don't want to count out the way that COVID has affected everybody. I feel like people like the line between home clothes or like nighttime clothes and outside clothes is like very close. Like this is a very thin line. Because like Crocs are just an everyday shoe and they're very casual, you know? So I feel like I don't know. I don't know.
I think like this is the thing. It's like reminding me of Monique being like, don't wear bonnets and scarves like to the airport. This is my thing. I feel like it's definitely rooted in some like I don't know if it's like respectability politics or something where it's like it's definitely like you don't want people to see black people in this light because you don't think it's flattering. So in order to impress those people, you tell people to change their behavior. And that's the part I don't like because I'm just like, but at the same time, I do think there is, and maybe this is the boomer coming out of me, where it's like, I do think there is a world where like you should learn how to dress to different places. Like, I feel like Brene, I don't know, like I follow this TikToker named Brene who's just has a messy ass life, and she was in
They
court,
know Brene.
right? And she she was in literally like a tight ass like t-shirt, like, you know, really tight leggings, and like I feel like it was like a slides. And it was just kind of like all the comments were just like, who on earth like would ever wear this to
Right.
a courthouse when you're on trial? And it's just
Right.
like I feel like there is a level of like you don't like because maybe COVID and people didn't go anywhere for 4 years, especially during those formative years, like you don't realize that there is certain dress codes for certain places. And like, you know, ceremonies, like, I mean, even like I'm thinking about that girl who did the fucking splits at graduation. Like, why would you want to do the splits at graduation? So I do think there is a time and place to understand like decorum, for lack of a better word, and like what to wear. But I feel like I just don't like when the impetus for a dress code is white people. Like you're scared of white people's thoughts. But maybe it just seems like it is because okay, like I feel like everyone like there's connotations to a durag. There's definitely connotations to wearing a fucking bonnet, right? And I feel like it's just interesting. And HBCU, but just
Yeah.
where you live should be a place where you can
Right. Exactly. That's
yourself,
so
right?
true. And I think that like, you know, because like when you mentioned like the airport, like I feel like the airport is like I don't feel like you have to be the most dressed up at the airport.
I
Like
be in a hoodie with my scarf on every time. Every time.
yes. And I feel like that's like, you know, travel places are just like obviously you're trying to keep your hair, you know,
Yes,
for
fresh.
where you're going. And so I feel like, you know, I don't really agree with Monique like on that. And like you said, like somewhere where you're living, like the cafeteria, it's breakfast time, like
Right, you're running in to get food and going back, right?
right, like why not? I
Yeah.
think that this is maybe an attempt to try to help some of these students because I do feel like some, like you said, don't have that awareness of like, okay, well, yes, you can wear this here, but you know, when it comes to you're going to take your, I don't know, like
Like your
going to
honor
take,
society, you know, ceremony at your campus. Like you should
or
take
just
off.
going to take a test.
Yeah,
I don't
taking your
know, like,
final, but maybe people are in fucking bonnets to class. Maybe that's a thing. The whole room's in bonnets. Is that a problem though? That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like it might be. Like I do think like I
I mean,
never
there
wore a
is
scarf or a bonnet to my college courses.
yeah, me either. But and there is a psychology towards being in your pajamas
Yeah,
and like not really being ready for
performance.
the
Yeah.
day, you
Hmm.
know? And
But I'm just
so,
saying,
yeah,
maybe they're right. Like, would you wear your? I mean, pajama jams are different, but like, would you wear a bonnet to your math class? And
I
then go to the
never wore
dining
a
hall
bonnet
and be
to
all in
my
class. Like I wouldn't either. And what was your reason for it?
I just didn't want to be outside of my bonnet. Like, you know, like I didn't want to be
Would you go anywhere on campus with a
outside
bonnet on?
not being no, but I went to a PWI. So,
So I wonder if it's different if we went to an HBCU. So
yeah, if I
that's
went to an HBCU, maybe I could see myself like wandering to, you
okay.
know, getting in the car and driving to my friend's house, like wearing my scarf around it. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I think that if the students are getting their work done and, you know, understanding life, like I don't care if you're studying with your bonnet on in the library, like whatever. I think like I do want everybody to be awake and, you know, ready to learn And so, like, if you're wearing your
Yeah, I mean,
clothes,
it's interesting because okay, so when I was a teacher, and for y'all who don't know, like I taught at a black school. There was like I don't think there was a single white person in my school. And they were poor. I taught in the most incarcerated zip code in the country at the time. And we had it was a charter school. There was uniforms, but on dress down day, I do think that if someone came in with a bonnet on, they would have told them to take it off. Like, and if they came in with a scarf on, like they would have told them to take it off. I can't remember a single dress down day where somebody wore a bonnet or a scarf or a do-rag. And I think that is because they're like, that is just home. That's not something you wear out. Like, like we're raising young scholars, whatever they would have said. And so that's why I'm like, I mean, maybe it's the boomer in me, y'all, but it's just like, I actually think, like, I think maybe dining hall, wear whatever you want, all student union, all those spaces. But I do think there is something to be said of when you come to class, when you're getting an education at Tuskegee, University, you are going to not be in a bonnet. You can put on the bonnet the minute you leave the class, but like your education is something serious. And I could see that. And I'm not saying put on a gown, but just take the bonnet off.
Right. No, I mean, I get that. And I do think that kids need boundaries. Like they're looking to adults to tell them how to navigate this world, and we owe it to them to not like set them up. You know what I mean? Like just having that like small practice. Like there's things that like that I know like other schools, they have to like wear business clothes if you're in the business school like on Thursday or whatever. It's like preparing them because maybe they don't know how to look appropriate, and their professor can tell them like, hey, you actually like want to not wear like these type of shoes. I don't know.
I agree. I just think there's something to be said that like important things or just certain types of buildings, you just don't like, you're not going to show up to court in a t-shirt. You're not going to show up to, your graduation.
We have to better our chances.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like the type of person where it's just like, we have to just accept this world we live in. It's just like, right. But there is like, and if we're going to court, I want you to have your best chances at your freedom. Like, I'm not going to set you up.
And there's just, unfortunately, there's narratives that are placed on a do-rag. So it's like, you don't want them to think, well, I've been wearing do-rags the whole time I was in Tuskegee. Why can't I go to this interview like that? Or why can't I go to my job like that? Because there's narratives, and then, all of a sudden you're fired because you're a professional, But I think, it sucks. It sucks that even has to be in place. Like, I didn't, like, but then that's the other thing. The next question then is like, but at University of Delaware, they didn't have that kind of rule. Like at Syracuse, they didn't have that kind of rule. And I do think there is something to be said that like on Black bodies, we do try to put like a hyper surveillance and a lot of rules on them. So I understand that too, because they didn't have that at PWIs. And I'm sure somebody came on it. I'm sure somebody came out in a do-rag, And so I think we're here for that side of the conversation too.
Yeah, where, like, that's real.
Where it's like we're only asking a certain group of people to always do these types of things versus others we don't. And white people, they would be showing up with their hair dripping and pajamas things with eye patches on under their eyes, taking their exams, and nobody said anything. Right. So it's just, there's two sides to it. But I don't know. I think if my kid went to Tuskegee, I'd be like, I mean, I wouldn't want them to show up in the do-rag anyway,
or their bonnet in class. Yeah.
Or they're in the room.
But yeah. But I mean, I feel like it does, lend itself to those conversations of just like setting up your child for success, for like not being in harm's way. Like, unfortunately, like that is what we're tasked with doing. Like, it's important, but it's like it could literally save your life. Speaking of that,
the Trayvon Martin, the fucking hoodie. Literally, they saw a black boy in a hoodie walking away, and that was it.
And it's sad because it can the sad part about it is like you could do everything right and
That's
it's
true.
still,
That's
you
true.
know, but it's like we try our
Sandra
best.
Bland.
Just like,
Sorry, I'm just naming people.
yeah, it's like we try our best. Like, you know, with Nolan Wells, which I wanted to talk a little bit about that. You know, yeah, it's just like we're having this conversation about like, you know, talking to your kids and not having them, you know, be alone with like white people and, you know, what to do and, you know, whatever. It's just like, those
just
are,
do it. Like, sorry, go ahead, finish what you're gonna say.
I was just saying, those are real conversations that like, I think this is all a part of trying to protect and prepare. I think we do police ourselves like a lot, but like, it's hard not to when like literally has been based on our survival. Like historically, I think most of this stuff has.
Where are you going?
Alexis, why are you asking her like that?
Because I'm like, where are you going? It's 8:00. Oh, it's 7:30. Like, you should be home. But yeah, so we had no fun during the house game. Get off the mic. But like, I feel like, I was gonna say, I think that, yes, I just think, I don't know, the more and more I get older, you know, and think about having kids, it's like, and have a nephew, like, I just don't think Black people should ever do it. Like, you know, it's just like, we should never
do
want
what?
we should never want to raise our child in a place where they're the only one. Like, I feel like if you realize that you're about to birth a kid in a zip code where they might be the only Black kid in their class, you birth the baby and then you start thinking like, maybe we should move. I don't, and I think it's really is that serious because I just think it's, even if we take away the idea of like murder, there's also just the idea that like their identity development is going to have a lot of fucking bruises and stumps and microaggressions, and not just from the classmates, but from teachers, from administration. Like, you know, it's just like we can already just not alleviate, but make that pathway a little bit easier and more affirming if we just go, even, I'm not even saying you have to go to an all Black zip code, but just something where they would have more. And I think it's that serious. It's a part of parenting.
It is that serious.
And
sadly, it seems like Nolan had, you know, a good amount of Black friends.
It did. But when I looked at that picture, it looked like he was the only Black boy at that pool party.
And that's like the other conversation. It's like, you never be the only one. Like, you just, if you are going to an all white space, like, you have to at least have one other person with you and,
absolutely,
and not, oh my God. So I was going to say, like, not the other boy that was on the boat that's like apparently half Black. So really quickly, just wanting to wake back up. I mean, it has not gone to sleep. Like, we are not resting until Nolan Wells gets justice. Like,
yes,
y'all don't know what y'all are. I just feel like Mississippi has no idea like what they're dealing with.
I know. I have a friend, Hope, who I like hung out with a lot in Milwaukee, who is from Mississippi, a Black girl, and I always would be so fascinated to ask her about it because I was just like, what is it like? Like, it's like, you know, us as Black people who grew up in the DMV, of course we went to North Carolina and South Carolina and Georgia, but I feel like the deep South, talking like Mississippi, you know, like that, like,
I have no idea.
Deep parts of Texas, like, you know, Louisiana, but like deep rural, like, it's like, we don't know that world. And it's like, that is very real for many Black people. And so it was just, I would always ask her questions. And then she went to University of Mississippi for college. Like, I would just always ask her, like, what was it like? And yes, like, this shit is real. Like, it is real in these parts where it's like, you know, me being in the only Black person in a white room in New York is a lot different than being the only Black person in a white room in Mississippi. And, you know, I just pray for them. And that's why I'm just saying, I just think I get financial resources. Like, I understand there's reasons why people are where they are. But if you have the means, I feel like in the opportunity, I feel like I would move if I knew that I was, if like my kid would be the only like Black kindergarten class. I don't want their school experience like that, you know, like, you have to. And so I don't know. That's like one thing as a parent.
And I know, like you said, like, if you have the means, because I know that's like a lot of it.
A lot of people. Exactly. And I just think, you know, you know, and it can happen. Like, I feel like, you know, when people doubt, it's like, we are from the DMV. Like, we are from a predominantly Black area. We grew up in schools that were diverse, or we were the majority. It can happen, you know?
Oh
And
my
so,
God. It was very intentional on my,
mhm,
our parents' part. Like, my
mhm,
dad is like, he literally watches the news and,
mhm.
it's from a place of privilege. It's obviously he was born and raised in DC, Maryland.
It
So it's
is
not
a
like he
place
had to go far. It's not like he had to move to Mississippi. I mean, move from Mississippi to PG County. Like, he
But
moved to
did his
PG County.
grandparents, like, I mean, my mother always talks about, like, my grandmother moved from South Carolina as an adult with her siblings. They all stayed in the same, like, a 1 bedroom apartment. There were like 6 of them in a 1 bedroom apartment for years. And then they all ended up getting
Mm-hmm.
an apartment on the same block. Like, it took years to get to the point where they were in a house with my mother, right? And having a baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm saying, like, people do it. People do it, but it's hard. And
What
I'm not trying
brought
to
your
act like,
family to Maryland?
hmm?
Do you know? Do you know what
I
brought
don't
your
know, because
family to Maryland?
nobody was born here. Like, my grandmother on my mom's side is from South Carolina, and Papa was from Florida. And then
Mm-hmm.
my dad's, my grandmother was from North Carolina, and I mean, I've never met my dad's dad, but maybe he was from here. He was a DC police
Mm.
officer, but like, no
Yeah.
one that I know, like, if he was not from DC, then none of my grandparents would have been from there. So, like, they were the first generation, like my grandparents, to
Yeah.
bring the family to the DMV. It's not
Yeah.
like we've been
My
here for
dad's
years.
parents his family actually, like, when we did the DNA, it was like the Virginias, the Marylands, like from his
Wow.
specifically. Yeah. So like they've been here forever,
Ever,
you
forever.
know?
Yeah.
So I just feel like, yeah. So
That's
it
crazy.
is possible. Like you said, Alexis' family has migrated up
Mhm.
here. And so is my papa. But like I guess I just talk about my dad because his was very like, he still talks about it on the news. Like, I can't imagine living, in fucking
Yeah.
middle of nowhere,
Fucking
Georgia. Like, I
Little
can't
Rock,
do it.
Arkansas or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
I just wanted to get your thoughts on like the recent updates from the Nolan Wells case. Like, there has been like
yeah,
audio
it's
from
I did read the audio from the
did you listen to it?
call. I did. I turned it on and then I couldn't.
I
I don't
know
like
it's
listening
hard.
to
It's
the
hard.
yeah.
I never can watch certain stuff, but like I did hear this one and it was literally like what the fuck, Bart? Like, get up,
Yeah,
Nolan. Like,
and
what?
then it was
Like,
like,
they
"Wake
were
me
very
up."
mean to him.
Yeah, it's like, "Get
Yes.
up, wake up," and, like, and then it's like, our ship is going down, like, our boat's going down, but then it's like, then why are you saying, "Wake up"? Like, you know, I don't know, there's so many inconsistencies, because 'cause I'm like, if your ship is your boat, I mean, actively submerging, why is someone not up? You know, like, that makes me think something happened to have knocked him
Oh
out
my
for you
God. They
to be
were
saying, "Wake
specifically
up,"
talking
you know?
about, yeah, they weren't talking to, that was like background noise. And the guy was talking to the Coast Guard about they were sinking, like,
Mhm.
and then they weren't really sinking because I'm pretty sure that like they called them off. Like, I'm pretty
I'm
sure that the
telling you,
parents came. I'm just,
this
my mind is blown. I'm not like shocked, but I'm like, it is crazy how these people thought they were about to just cover this up.
I mean, when we hear the full report, I'm
And
sure
the
we're gonna
link said they're still, I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm like, they're
When we
still
hear
covering it up. It's
Yeah,
like,
they're still covering up. When we hear the full story, we're gonna be jaw dropped. It's gonna be, it's gonna be gag worthy, because it's gonna be like, you did
these people are
what?
stupid.
Did
They're so
what?
stupid.
But I'm just thankful that it didn't. His parents had the wherewithal to understand the dynamics of Mississippi, and that, we need to get a private autopsy. I'm glad that Ben Crump is on the case, because he's not gonna let it rest. And so
Oh my God.
we're
They
gonna
have
be
no idea what they're dealing with. I'm just
it's
like, you have people from all over the world and specifically in the states that are, this is their bread and butter. Like, I know they weren't expecting an audio engineer to clean up the audio and like,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
they,
Like, this is gonna get real, and so they
and
didn't
they're
expect
so
it.
silly. Like, literally the next day, after his funeral, I'm sure you saw that two of his friends went on a podcast with a black man.
I did.
and are talking like it's just crazy. I just think that this whole thing is just so insane.
Yeah.
Brandon
You'll find
Tatum, Warren
it will
Hudson, and
it will unfold. And like I said, I hope they put the trial on the TV so I can watch it and hear every detail. Because that I will watch because I'm fascinated by it now. And so I'm hoping they put it on TV like they
I'm
did for the
so
George Floyd
disgusted.
murder. And
I
we'll be
cannot believe. Yeah, no, I I just can't believe it. It's just like the amount of people that are going to be incriminated in this is
oh yeah. A lot of
insane.
people are coming up murder. It's gonna be interesting, but I got to go.
Okay. Do you didn't want to talk about the Howard thing real quick?
I guess a little bit. I mean, Howard unenrolled 500 students for not paying tuition on time, allegedly. And by students, I mean incoming freshmen. So these freshmen have
Mm-hmm.
not even taken a course yet. And so this came to TikTok by like a bunch of people just like started making videos. And I feel like it was all over my For You page of like incoming freshmen crying about it
Mm-hmm. Their parents.
and their parents, and then it just uncovers just a whole bunch of mess. Like some of them had like scholarships that were supposed to pay, and then Howard
Mm-hmm.
said, "Don't worry about it," and they talked to guidance counselors and all these things. Long story short, it's not like Howard's going back. Like they are standing 10 toes down on the 500 people, and so these students are like, "Where the hell are we going to school? It's almost fucking August," and so.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Um, I mean, one of the conversations I've seen people talk. I mean, everyone I've talked about it many times on this pod. Like, I literally went to accepted students day for Howard, and then immediately said I'm not going when they like at acceptance students day didn't. We're like, oh, we don't have your reservation. You were supposed to be coming here today. Like, we see you're trying to come to the school, but and I was like, nope, this is a sign already. And so, and my mom warned
Mm-hmm.
me. She's a Howard alum. She warned me saying, the admin is
Mm-hmm.
very, very unorganized, and this is here we go again. At the end of the day, I just am like, as much as people want to talk about like HBCUs are so empowering and da 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 da, and I'm sure they are, and it's affirming space. It seems time and time again, though, there's some of them that just don't do right by their students because I'm like, at a certain point, the level of like organization and system that you create and like at Howard in the bureaucracy of it, like you would think like you would want to have it well run, and that's kind of a way of like honoring your students, like
Yes.
not having to really put them through the
They
runaround.
deserve it.
I
Yes.
went to PWI and I never went through the runaround. Like even if something was off, I went to the office, they fixed it there, like
Yes.
went around. And the last thing I was gonna say was there's always something. Like I remember when there was mold in the dorms and they can't
Mm-hmm.
just were camping on on the campgrounds, camping on the lawn for weeks. Like there's always something where I'm just like, for it to be such an affirming space, they sure don't do a great job of honoring their students. And that was the conversation I saw where people were just like, there's so many other schools to pick than Howard. Like there's so many other HBCUs. There's 139, I think someone said. Like we need to stop picking these based off of like clout or like popularity. We actually need to start picking the ones that like actually want their students to like thrive and have a positive experience, because I had that experience as someone who was an incoming freshman, and so I can't
Mm-hmm.
imagine what it's like for to be
Oh
different
my
from
god.
somebody. Like literally I would have showed up with a gun, I'm sure, at one point, because I would have
Alexis.
been so fucking annoying. Okay, well, I'm just joking,
I
y'all.
know
Don't.
you would be so annoyed.
But like
But
I would
yeah.
have been screaming.
Right. No, I know. I know. It's like you're playing with these people's lives,
That was a gun.
literally.
I don't want to get arrested. Go ahead.
Um so yeah, I agree. I think that there's some real shady shit going on. Like there's no way that this should be this way. Like you said, the level that Howard is like
Right.
probably the most well known, if not the most like popular
We're right.
HBCU. It
We're not
should
talking about
be
university. We're talking about Howard,
right. It's just like there's no reason that this should be happening. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and like it's
And it
embarrassing
shows
to
a
be
profound lack of care. Like that's the thing I want to go for. Just
yes.
like I
Shows
feel
a
like they like,
profound lack of care.
yeah, like they talk about like, it's this and
Caring
we're the
about the
Mecca and we
black
care and we're gonna
community.
do this and we care about the black community. And it's like, you just unenrolled 500 black people that now have to find somewhere to go to school. That is
Right.
a profound.
And they thought they were going to Howard.
Right. And they thought they bought her merch. They've been buying stuff for their dorm. It's almost on
They've been acting like it's literally school starts in a couple of weeks.
Terrible.
And they gotta apply, like who
Y'all got
it's just insane.
Getting interviewed about this, crying real tears. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it shows a profound lack of care for the Black community to do this.
Yes. And the alumni need to hold them
I would re-enroll all
accountable.
500. And I would be like, we are going to figure out a way, because there's no world where we're going to have 500 people that thought they were coming. And
we will rent a space.
They're left out high and dry. That's crazy.
Yeah, never. Because that's crazy to have. That's a stain on your legacy.
I mean,
I think that
traumatic.
Yes, it's traumatic as fuck for these 500 people. Like, that's a lot of people. Like, that's a lot of people.
Interview. And Howard's like, well, you need to just give the $5,000 deposit. She had the $5,000 and went to the office, and they were like, no, we unenrolled you. We don't have the money. Like, they're no longer enrolled. And it's just like, you won't even take money and re-enroll somebody. Like, it's a profound.
It's crazy that I can't, like, what are these conversations even like? I can't imagine like somebody saying this to another Black person.
I went to a wife going, I didn't have to deal with that. That's one thing I didn't have to deal with. And I'm not saying that means it's better, but I'm saying, like, I expect Howard to do better than the University of Delaware. I do.
And I just think that people need to, I know that, like, I feel like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of the alumni are holding it to the fire, but I know there's people that are just like, don't say anything bad about Howard and blah, blah, blah. But it's just like,
whatever.
The student's experience is the most important thing. Like, period.
Yeah, so, I'm like, I don't care. Like, my mother went there in the 70s and warned me about it, and then I was going to college in 2010. Like, that's terrible. 30 years later.
That is terrible.
Right. So I'm just like, I don't
hire a consultant to get y'all shit together. Like, it is 2026. It's 2026. These kids deserve more.
And if you're fucking telling me to take my fucking bonnet off and my scarf, bitch, you better have my paperwork in the right location and everything else. You need to be on your shit just as much as you're standing for me. Because if not, let me fucking walk out looking like however I want to fucking look. Because y'all don't have your shit together either. And you're supposed to be
and I would definitely be telling somebody that at the school. Like I don't think I would come in there with a gun, but I would be cussing somebody out and telling them, like,
don't call Paw Patrol. Like, won't. I don't own guns. I don't support guns. That was a joke. It was a bad joke. It just that, like, I would be livid is what I'm trying to mean. But let's wrap.
I just can't believe it. Like, the more I think about it, just makes me so mad. And I'm like, the fact that their answer is not like, how can we fix this?
Right.
How can we fix this? Is just like, who is running this?
Disgusting.
Do better. Okay. Thank you guys for listening to this week's episode. Leave your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what y'all think about all this. Send us an email if you have any topics for us or anything that you guys want us to talk about or any suggestions for the show. And in our comments, you can leave us a little donation. In our show notes, we have our Cash App. Yep. And we will be here next week. We love you guys. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcasts. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.